Hi and good evening and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home of Tottenham from past to present. Hang on, let me take Shamu off there so Shamu can unmute himself. How are we all this evening? I hope we're doing okay. Yeah, as you can see, there's no Ellie. Now, we're not sure where Ellie is. As far as we all knew, Ellie was going to turn up. So we don't know. She could have been called to a party. It's probably Ellie doing something. Ellie, you know what Queens are like. Queens will turn up in their own time. So, Ellie, if you're watching, where are you? But luckily, Shamu has stepped in for me to be my co-host tonight. Shamu, how are you? And how are you down in New Zealand? How's the weather down there, sir?
It's been raining. It's been raining. But been keeping all good. That result was a bit of a thriller there, but we should be smashing Bournemouth, no problem. They're a championship team.
Yeah, we really should be, Shamu. And look, we'll get into that. Right, we're going to say hello to people who's in the chat. First off, we've got Bobby K. Big up Bobby K. If the comment will come up, big up Bobby K. And the three Spurs boys. Big up, sir, and hope you're doing well in Canada. We've got Jirula. Jirula, big up Jirula. She says, "Evening, guys. Looking forward to this after that win. He's the reason." Bentancur, yeah, he is. Another last minute goal, a brilliant goal he got against Marseille on Tuesday, and another great goal yesterday. If you know where your aunt is, could you just give her a little nudge, say that we're live? If you do that for me, Julia, good, thank you. Here we've got David Clark from Leicester. Big up David Clark. He says, "Well, hello from Leicester. Great win for the ladies, 8-0. Good coaching, putting Spence in that front line. Look, for what I've seen of it, it was a brilliant result today. Something we will be looking into in more detail on Tuesday on ELYY's ladies show. But yeah, the Shamu, I just want to say something. The ladies are really putting the men's side into a bit of shame here, aren't they?
Yeah,
That was a
definitely.
good
8-0.
8-0. I think Conte needs to stick certain plays in front of the women's side to show them how to play football. But big up David Clark anyway. Hope you're doing well. We have Rob Bleacher in. He says, "Big up Ellie and Dermot, the A team." Well, part of the A team is here. Samu is like the sub that comes on and scores the winning goal in about 5 minutes to go. He's a super sub, but big up Rob as well. We've got Carl Simpson in. Hang on, let me get that up. Where is it now? Go on. We've got Carl Simpson in saying, "Why won't that come up now?" StreamYard's been a nightmare the last few streams. It really has. It really has been a nightmare. We've got Carl Simpson. "Good evening, all. I thought I had just calmed down. My heart was working again after Saturday. Manda's then the ladies went 8-0 to get the old ticker up and running again." Yeah, it does. I think the ladies' side are really showing the men's side how to play football at the moment. He also puts Ellie's going to turn up late, like all list of A-list celebrities. Yep, that is so true. And then we've got Mia joining in. Big up Mia. Good evening. Mia will be joining us as a guest, like Shamu. She'll be coming on certain shows during the week and during the forthcoming shows we've got to come on. So we've got Mia coming on as well. So big up Mia and welcome to the THFC Till I Die family. It's lovely to have you here. We've got Carl Simpson here saying, "To evening, Mira." Andrew Gregory, "Evening, guys. Hope all is well." Yeah, all is well. Yeah, we're grand. I'm happy. Shamu's happy. Spurs won. The Spurs women win. I don't know who's winning the Grand Prix. If anyone can give me an update, if Perez is still in the podium positions, but wait and see. Hopefully he will. And they've got Julia just did. Thank you very much. Thanks, Julia. And then we've got Mia saying, "Thank you for having me." Look, Mia, you're always welcome. Your comments on the Irish Hotspur, you speak facts. You're a lovely person, a great listen, and welcome to the family. And we'll get you on the show, like you and Shamu together, and we'll have a good chin mag about the team we love called Tottenham. So that's all. Right, that's hello to everyone. We'll get on with it now. Shamu, look, this was the team yesterday. Luis Sanchez, Longley Davis, Emerson, Højbjerg, Skip Basuma, Segerson, Son, and Kane. Look, I'll let you go first. What's your play ratings for the team, and also put your play ratings, guys and girls, in the chat as well. What you think that out of 10 for the whole team? But I'll let you go first, Shamu. What's your out of 10 for the team yesterday?
I'll start with Lloris. I can't even really remember him making any mistakes or even really kicking the ball and doing anything dumb. So just standard 5. He let in a few goals, and he wasn't going to stop either of those two. So 5. Sanchez, 3, because 2 of those goals he just fell over and it was just stupid. Longley, he was a bit better, maybe a 6, maybe a 7 if you wanted to. Davies, I'd just give a standard 5. Maybe a 6. He did get the goal, but just as defending in general, not great. Emerson, again, wasn't that great. Maybe just like a 5, a 6 sort of thing, standard average. Højbjerg, he was a bit better. I'd give him like maybe a 6, 7 rating. Skip, I would give like a 4. He was quite ineffective. Basuma, same as Skip, like a 4. Sessegnon, he got his goal. He did quite well at times, but sometimes he can just be not convincing and like lacks confidence getting balls and stuff like that. But I'd still give him like a 6, 7. Son, he got an assist, didn't he, for one of the goals?
He did.
But quite quiet in general, and his touch was still quite poor. So 6. Kane, again, 5, 6. Yeah.
Yeah, well, look, for me, Shamu, I will give Lloris a 5. Look, he had a quiet game apart from conceding the 2 goals. Sanchez, I'm going to give a 1. He was fucking useless. I mean, for the first goal, he fell over like a clown at a circus. Like, no, them clowns that fall over their feet. That was Sanchez for the first goal. And as for Seguin, he never tracked his man back. So, and then as for it was just a clown. Longley, I would give actually a 7. I thought he was the only decent defender. He tried to bring it down and play it out from the back. Davis, I would give a 5 or 4 or 5. I thought he was poor, but he got better in the second half. Emerson, I'll give a 3. I thought he was useless yesterday. Now, look, I'm not very critical of Emerson most of the time. I mean, you see him, all you want to do is give him a hug. Just tell him everything is going to be okay. Do you know, one of them people? Højbjerg, I would give a 5, but the 5 or a 6, I'll give him a 6. Skip, I'm going to give a 5. Look, he is coming back from injury. This is his first game back from injuries, or his second game back, so he's getting back used to it. So I'll give him a 5 or a 6. Basuma, I'll give a 5. I mean, he was useless in the first half. Absolutely useless. Seguin, he only started playing when he saw Perisic on the touchline. So I would give him a 5. Son, I'll give 6 to Son, and Kane, I'll give him a 6. Look, they're very quiet, the front two, but nobody in that first half, Shamu, deserves any credit for that first half performance. Would you agree? Or
I'd agree. That was piss poor, that first half. It was like a bunch of cows on laxatives in a field. Shit everywhere. Yeah. Well,
look, that's ours. So please get your thoughts. We've got Carl Simpson here saying Sanchez and Emerson are 1 combined. Look, you can't disagree. There's our cat sponsor for today's show. Apparently, Verstappen leads Hamilton. Cheers, guys. And Andrew Gregory, Sanchez is like Bambi on ice. Yeah, absolutely true. That's so true, Andrew. And then Emerson did hit the target, a vehicle in the cup. Apparently, one of his balls is still rising. Apparently, it's just gone past Mars and Jupiter at the moment.
There it goes.
Yeah.
Just gone past mine. I just saw it go past New Zealand now.
So there you go. It's doing the orbit around the Earth, is it?
Yep.
Look. So Shamu, look, it is the best way to start, and I think we will start on the formation. Look, we play 3-5-2. It doesn't work. We play 3-4-3. It doesn't work. Where does CONTE gone from here? I mean, what do you do? What do you mean formations? What does he do? What more does he have to do to get these players to go to work?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure it was the the 3-5-2 at the start that kind of screwed us over. I think it was just the players just not turning up again. It's just again, and it's the same culprits again. You got Sanchez and all the same ones, same game. You know, just slow. It's just I just don't know why they start so slow and why it takes them to go 1-0 down, 2-0 down to start playing. It's just super frustrating, especially for me when you know I'm waking up at 3 o'clock to watch that, and then I just know the second half's going to be better, and it's like I might as well just wake up at 4:30 instead of like 3.
I mean, what do you say to Mira here? She's put a comment in saying, let's see if it comes. Yeah, Emerson can't pass, and if he looks or don't look, I mean, what's wrong with Emerson? I mean, look, he's such a divisive in the fan base. There's half don't like him, half think he just needs a hug, and there's the other half think he's just the worst thing to come out of Brazil since God knows what first come out of Brazil. Why is the fan base so divisive on Emerson? What makes him that?
It's just so inconsistent, and just the errors that he does make are just so comical and stupid that it's just you can't not get angry at him. Like the no-look pass, which just went out.
Yeah,
you know, you can't write that. It's like he didn't need to do that.
No.
When you kick it out.
Yeah, would you start a Doherty on that right side?
It's just the lesser of two evils, really. You're just hoping that Doherty doesn't have a mare again. So you can, if you want, just toss the coin, I guess.
Yeah, that's so true. We've got Carl Simpson's actually saying here, Shimon, I don't know what he wants to say. He says no formations would really work until we get the players to play them exactly. And I think that's the point. That's why this January, I think, Shamu, is so vital. That we get at least a centre-back and a right wing back in this January. Look, January's hard enough to get players, but I think it has to be a priority. And then go, in the summer, go for full throttle in the summer. We also got David Clark here saying it doesn't really matter because Conte tactics totally reliant on his wing-backs being world-class, whereas ours are conference class. Where do you think Conte or more Paratici, where does Paratici have to look for in January to strengthen that back line? Where do you think he needs to look, or who would you like to see him bring in?
Well, we've got Udogie out on loan, so that's a left-sided one. I don't know if he'll bring another one in after that. He might rotate between Udogie and Sessegnon, but the right side, I like Frimpong from Bayer Leverkusen. That's a right back who I like. I always used to get him in career modes as well, so it's not even just that. You know, I always used to pick him up. He was cheap and good, and now he's coming into form. He's scoring goals and stuff like that in a poor Leverkusen team, which is saying something.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of Bundesliga this year, and he's been a player that's impressed me. Also, I like Lampy from Brighton. And I think he's a good player to go for. I think he's a great little right wing back. He's got pace as well. Do you think we should have gone for Trippier when he come up for sale? Do you think it would have been? I know it's never good going back for old players, but for taking free kicks, and he is a decent defender. Would you have put money? Would you have got him in for the season?
If at the right price, sure. Cause it's kind of like a Perisic type thing. He's there as like a backup utility because he's not in the prime of his career. You know, he probably didn't think he would be playing more or less every single game, you know. So it'll be a situation like that where if we did get Trippier, I'd want a starting right back and then have him as the rotation.
Yeah.
Like as a second, you know, for a B team, or if we had a cup game, I'd put Trippier in there.
But is it time to start Spence now? Is it time that just throw him in and just see what he can do? Because there is talk of him going out on loan in January. Is it just time to just say, look, we'll just put him in, see what he can do, and just, get on with it? Because we did buy him.
I just had an update. ELYY said she's on her way.
Yeah, apparently ELYY is leaving her palace, and she's been to some party, A-list party. I don't know. She'll tell us when she comes on where she's been. But ELYY will be... Queens are always fashionably late, aren't they? So we'll leave it as that. Big up ELYY. I hope she's not watching. Big up ELYY. To be fair, Emerson isn't the worst Brazilian we have signed. Right. I want to put a poll in the chat. I don't know how to put polls up in the chat. I will ask Dave how to do that. So put in the chat for me, who is the worst South American player we've bought at Tottenham? Has there anyone been worse than Emerson? So I'd love to know what you think. Shamu, any Brazilians that have been worse?
I don't know about Brazilians, but Sanchez has got to be close. He's South American.
Even his national team manager said he isn't very good. So if his national team manager's saying that,
Exactly.
Yeah,
and they're not exactly got lots of quality in terms of players for centre backs and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Mia says neither are good at anything. Just Mia plays Doherty and Emerson. Look, do you feel to put Spence in and then get another right wing back in January, or would you leave the right wing back to the summer just to get a centre back in? What would you prioritise for the January window?
Not even me prioritising. Before the window started last season, Conte said he prioritised a right wing back.
Yeah.
So right wing back, obviously, because that was the first position he said he wanted.
Yeah.
And then you have Spence as the second or third option.
Yeah.
And you've got to play him more because he's just giving him 5 minutes, and you're not going to affect a game or change a game or do anything in 5 minutes. You've got to give him at least.
That's so true.
You want to give him at least a half.
That's so true.
And if he does have a bad half,
look
then you just take him off.
Look who's joined us, Shamu. Yeah, look who's joined
us.
us.
Shamu. Sorry.
No,
Sorry, I had a little bit of an emergency.
Yeah, Ellie.
I had a little bit of an emergency.
Yeah, which party did you just leave? Which A-list party did you just leave now?
You know, I went to the first party. It was all about actually passing the ball 5 times accurately. Party.
Okay. we all know that. We all know that. Yeah. Well, some people thought, me and Shamu were saying these divas are always late. They always come in when they want to. So
yeah, sorry, I had a family emergency. There's a little bit of a problem, so I had to sort it out.
I hope everything's okay, Ellie. No, all sincereness, I hope everything's okay.
It's fine. It's a woman thing. I won't go any further than that. Yeah, let's talk. I'm
about to have my dinner after the stream, Ellie. So don't go into any more details. Okay.
No, that's right. I'm going to keep them.
Yeah, right. Carl Simpson says I'll get the players up to get your ratings, Ellie, in a minute. We've got Carl Simpson says we should have gone for Trippier and Botman for the life of me. I don't know why we left it. We have look. I don't know why. I think we should have gone for Trippier as well, Carl. I think for a season that would have got us out of trouble. Why we're looking for another right wing back, but look, that's the thing. We'll get that up there. Hang on.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll get that up there. Right. Do you want to go through your play ratings, Ellie?
Yeah. I'll give Lloris a 7 because, like always, he was steady Eddie, wasn't he? Didn't do any gaffes this time, and he didn't have much chance of the goals after Bambi fell over. Right, Sanchez a 3, useless. Thank God he took him off. I'm being kind when I give him the 3 as well. You know, I've got someone holding my arm back. Sanchez's mother.
Dermot gives him a 1 just for putting his shirt on the right way.
Yeah, I've got Sanchez's mother. She's holding my arm back. Right, Longley. It's hard with Longley. I think I'll give him a 5 because he wasn't good and he wasn't bad. You know, in the middle. Davis 2 because he scored. I'm only giving him a 2 because he scored and because he fist bumped when he scored a goal. But other than that, it was pretty dire. Right, Emerson 6. Yeah, didn't do anything fancy.
No.
Højbjerg, but just for that one pass to Sessegnon, I'm going to give him an 8 because that was a flipping awesome pass. Well done, Højbjerg. You've done me proud. Right. Skip, I'll give a 7 because he was like a steady Eddie as well. Basuma, I'll give a 2. Useless. What's wrong with him? He's come from Brighton. He's decided not to play football. He's decided that he's not a footballer anymore. So I'm going to give him a 2.
I've got a question about him later, Ellie. So that's something we'll be diving into.
Bassoon, more like a bassoon. He's all wind.
A buffoon. Yeah.
A bassoon.
Sessegnon, I'm going to give an 8. I thought he was excellent. Yeah, fantastic. Full of energy. Fabulous goal he scored. Took it really well. I thought he was going to muff it, but he didn't. Thank God. You know what I mean by muff, don't you, Shamu?
Yeah. Just like screw it up.
Yeah. Right. It's a London term, isn't it? Son. You know what? He huffed and puffed, but he didn't blow their house down again. I know I've used that term quite a few times, but he did. He huffed and puffed, so I'll give him a 6. I can't really give him a 7 because he wasn't above average. And Kane, another one. He never really got into the match that much. No. Done a few clever passes. I'll give him a 6 as well. They were both quite poor, the front two, like they've been most of the season. All right, Kane's been scoring, but you know, he hasn't been that good like we know he has. He can be, sorry. So, we're not doing subs, are we?
No, we're not. No, we're bad enough doing that after yesterday's performance.
But I'll give Gil a 10 just for his hairstyle.
Right, we've got to
5 for the moustache.
We've got to get back into these chats because they are building up a little bit. So we'll just get through these, Ellie, and then we'll get into
the questions. That was quite scary, actually.
Halloween, so it's on point.
It looks a bit Catweasel-ish.
We've got Andrew Gregory saying, We've got Andrew Gregory saying NASA has released images of Emerson shot picked up by the James Webb telescope.
Oh my God!
We've got David Clark. Trippier is not good enough defender, and his last 6 months at the club, he was awful. Yeah, look, I would agree.
That is bloody true.
That is very true.
We need the scout that actually scouts us a good defender, don't we?
Well, we got the scout from Glasgow Rangers, Ellie, that Paratici.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he'll be good because he'll be stringent. Yeah.
Carl Simpson says Ellie has just finished dinner with Hoybier.
How did you guess? I thought it was a secret. My secret is out.
I don't think you were having dinner with Hoybier. I think you were having dinner with Benticore myself. There you go.
Yeah, that's a bit of an upgrade.
Having an affair with Benticore now.
Yeah, don't worry.
Carl Simpson, when I said earlier who was the worst South American we've ever bought, Gilberto from Brazil.
Yeah, we always scout the worst Brazilians in the world, don't we?
We do. Big up, Chris.
Yeah.
Big up, Chris. He says, Chris, even for me, me on the Newcastle Metro. And who else has just come in? Mia saying, I think she's saying either Sanchez or Emerson. He's more of a pole
dancer. Well, a few could be described like that, Mia.
Yeah.
They'd bloody be good.
And then we've got Mick's come in. Mick Harmlick has come in. And let me get that.
Yeah,
I tell you one thing, Ellie. StreamYard's been really playing up the last few days. So it's good evening, by Mick. Good evening, Dermot, Ellie, and co. Just want to say hello. Me and my son got a bad cold. Oh, I hope you feel better, bud.
Yeah, I hope you feel better, Mick. Oh.
Yeah. So, Ellie, question for you. Yeah, now you're late.
Go on.
Yeah.
I just let Hoybier out the back door and Benticore out the front door.
This show has come very much
one man's
downwards.
Never enough for the Queen. One man's never enough.
Ellie, this is like Game of Thrones or the House of Dragons.
It is.
It is.
All right.
So I get on this. We'll start with the questions, Ellie. This one's first for you. Yeah. And I'll go to Shamu.
Okay.
Why do we start so slow in the first half? What can Conte do to change it? Look, very quickly, Ellie, before we go to you, look, for me, I think it's a lack of passion. It's a lack of. I think the heads are still in the bus. To be fair, now a lot of fans saying he's told the team to conserve energy for the second half. Well, if they're conserving energy, they're doing a damn good job of it, because they're conserving so much energy that they're actually not even thinking. That's how much energy they're conceiving, storing up. So, Ellie, what's your thoughts on it? Is it a contact tactic, or is it just the players? Some of these players just cannot follow his instructions.
I'm going to come at it from a different angle. I think this just plain arrogance. They think they're better than they are. You know, we've seen how their passing is. We've seen how they're defending it. And if we were in the classroom, we'd give them a big fat 0, because at the end of the day, we're going to give them a report. We'll give them such a terrible report for first half performances. They wouldn't even get a look in to be a Premiership team. They'd be relegated to like 4th division, whatever it's called now. But I just feel they've got a chip on their shoulder. I remember, what's his name, Harry Redknapp's son, Jamie. He said he was arguing with Roy Keane about, because Roy Keane said that we're a bang average, and I agree with him. We are a very bang average, but they think because they got the Champions League final, and you know they've got on the crest of a wave. They think they're better than they are, and they're not. There's only 5 or 6 players in the squad that I would actually choose to be in my team, let alone Conte's team. And I'm quite picky when I pick my players to choose who's going to be in my team. But I won't mention who they would be. But I just feel that they've got an arrogance, and they think they don't have to work. You've got to bloody work. Man City, they're fabulous. Even though they can pass better than us, even though they can do lots of different things more cleverly than us, they put in the hard graft. Yeah, you've got to put in the hard. Because Bournemouth I said it before, Bournemouth were flying out those traps to kill us off. And we're lucky that we've got other players in the team that can pull us out of the mire. Yeah, that's all I've got to say. Yeah. I hope people liked my analysis of that.
I'm sure they did, Ellie. But Shamu, why are we so bad? Why are we so slow? Is it a mental thing? It's not the first time we've done this. We did it last season. The end of last season, we were flying. We were knocking in goals all over the place. We were beating teams by 3 or 4-0. Do you know, we had momentum going into this season. Even with the first game of Southampton, we started the game slowly. The only game we have started well from start to finish was a watch-along you actually did with me and Philip, the Godfather, who's back next Thursday, everyone, from his holidays. Was the Fulham game. So why is that the only game? Why is that the only game, Shamu, that we have started all the way through, but all the rest of them, we can't get going in the first half?
For me, it must be a mentality thing, because they're paid professional footballers. It's nothing to do with talent or skill. They obviously know what to do, so it's applying that in a game. So that's obviously a mental thing for me. And it's the same old brigade as who've been leading us down this past few years, the same Spice Girls. Dyer, Sanchez, Davies. I know he was okay yesterday, but he was terrible. Lloris, the same old Spice Girls. Just need to get them out.
The Spice Girls are pretty.
But
our players are not pretty. They're flipping playing ugly.
Kulu can't be Ginger Spice, because Kulu's good. No. So I just thought Dyer is Sporty Spice.
Yeah, he can take one in the face, Dyer, can't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but look, Shamu, why do we start slow? Look. What would you? Is it that they can't follow the instructions, or is it Conte's not ready? Should Conte give his halftime talk before the match to get them going?
Yeah, I think so. Just a bit of reverse psychology, and just tell them it's halftime now. And we're 2-0 down. Just tell them that before the game starts, and we might come out attacking. Just get the guy on the scoreboard to put them up 2-0 or something, so when they look up, they already see that we're losing.
Yeah,
that could be good.
But it was the same under Jose. It was the same under Poch. It was the same under Ryan Mason.
Exactly.
Nuno, that's just a different story altogether. I mean, a lot happened under Nuno, which I'm still trying to recover from. Garden gnomes, what
The
garden
only
gnomes
difference,
every. Look, just very quickly, Ellie.
Yeah,
Garden gnomes everywhere were, the sales and garden gnomes when Nuno was in charge of us went up by 50%. Now I think, where's he managing now? Is it Saudi Arabia?
Don't know, but we don't really care.
No, but the
it
point
could
of
be
making,
anywhere
Ellie,
for all we care.
yeah, the point of making, but it's the same thing. It's been a rare concurrence through Jose, through Poch, through Jose, through Ryan Mason, Nuno, now Conte. Look, a lot of people saying some of these are Paratici signings. There's some of Poch's signings, then Jose's signings, then Nuno signings, and now Conte signings. Where do you lay the blame? Where do you lay the blame for these players, or is it a collective? Is it a collective that we blame everyone, or is it just the players' fault?
No, it's a team thing, Dermot, because they've all got a pull for the same manager, right? So if whether it be Nuno or Conte, right? There's a lot of fans, they say they're throwing him under the bus. I don't think so. What I think, with Conte, they didn't do that anyway, all right? But there's not many of that team that went to the Champions League final left. Really, if you look at it, it's only half. It's less than half the team, all right, at any one stage, all right? So you've got more than half the team are not pulling their weight, that are either fresh to the team or were really good for us, like Son and Kane. But it's just, you know what it is? I personally think, because Son and Kane are not firing on all cylinders, and I've heard a lot of fans say it's because of the World Cup. They don't want to get injured before the World Cup, because it'd be devastating for them. So they're putting country before club. I really do believe this, because when you look at Romero, for example, he's not the same Romero. I know he had the hip injury, but he's pulling out of tackles, and he's not going to tackles, more importantly, than what he used to do. So he doesn't want to get injured. So this World Cup has really done a lot of teams in. I've been watching other clubs as well where World Cup players are involved and they're performing under par. But we've been performing under par more than the other teams, I believe. Especially our star players. Our star players are key players. And then we've had Kulu, who's another baller in our team. There's only two ballers in our team, really, who can control the ball well and keep it and pass it. And that's Kane and Kulu, right? One of them's gone. So that's 50% of the balling gone already. Now, Bentancur stepped up, thank God. Thank God for Bentancur. I lit him out the back door, So
are Uruguay in the World Cup?
Sorry?
Did Uruguay qualify for the World Cup?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure they did. Well, I'm sure they did.
Argentina, Ellie, and Shamu are probably the favourites to win the World Cup. Look, this World Cup is such a unique event. I mean, it starts in 3 weeks' time, believe it or not.
I know. It's really close.
It is.
We've got a big game. We've got a big game against Liverpool on Sunday as well.
Yeah, and
so
I will also say that England might be home quicker than Emerson's ball that is coming down from space after the World Cup. So that's what I'm saying on that.
We'll apologise to all the English fans. There's a disclaimer there.
Yeah, there is a very big disclaimer there. We will be actually covering the World Cup on here. We will be doing England matches, Canadian matches, and Argentina and Brazil matches. So we are going to do a little bit of watch-alongs for the World Cup. David Clark here, Shamu, and he says, if you don't believe a great coach like Conte can put a fire up then before the game or half time, then the conclusion must be that Conte plays this way for 60 minutes every game. What do you say to David Clark? Do you agree with him?
Yeah, I do. I think it's just player application. I think it's just they just struggle to step up at the start. I don't know what is it. It's hard to say from the outside. It could be anything when we're not in there, hanging out with the players and doing all that. It's just when you see it every game, it's obviously something, and it's nothing that that Conte can do, because we end games really well, and he's proven himself that he's a world-class manager. So I just really don't know what's going on there. Because the more we start games that badly, we're going to be 3-0 down and not 2-0 down. Once we start playing better teams, and they'll just close it out and they won't give us a chance. They'll be happy with a 2-0.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Ellie, this one from Jula.
Yeah, that's my niece. Hello, Jula.
I say this a lot. I say this a lot. This World Cup is playing on their minds. Look, Ellie, I think you, as you say, I think I would agree with you and Jula on this. I think the World Cup is playing on their minds with Romero, Kane, Sonny. If this World Cup was, say, in the normal summer, I don't think we wouldn't be. I don't think it would be so much of a problem, because this is in the winter, and also the Premier League stopping and then starting again, and then players going off. Do you know what do you think will happen now with the next remaining games, Ellie? And what do you think will happen after the World Cup? Do you think we'll see a death from Romero, Kane, Sonny, players that are going to the World Cup? Do you think we might see a different type of players after the World Cup?
I think it all depends on how they perform in the World Cup as well. Because, as you know, Dermot, if you say you get to the World Cup final, you've basically made it in football. And if you win it, I mean, that's incredible. You imagine one of our players coming from a crest of a wave. It could be 2 or 3 of our players from the same national team. If they come back and they've won the World Cup, how fabulous that would be for Spurs. You'd imagine it would be a good knock-on effect if they all had pretty decent World Cup matches and played well. But do you know what? I agree with my niece. They are a little bit tentative when they go into the tackle. They are a little bit tentative trying to avoid injury, I think. Because look how Richarlison reacted when he thought he was going to be out. He was crying. His dad was crying. Because it means a lot to them when they play for their country, more so sometimes than their club. There are proper club men who put club before country. But nowadays the World Cup, I think the World Cup is lost its little bit of gloss from when I was younger. Because I remember the World Cup was like pomp and ceremony, but now it's like in the middle. They would never have thought of doing the World Cup in the middle of a season, not even the middle of the season, the third way through, isn't it? They would never have given the World Cup such demise that they're going to play it then. They would have waited till the season's over and then played it, regardless of any politics, COVID, whatever. They would have given it precedence.
Look, I also think very quickly, I wouldn't have given it to Qatar in the first place. This is a corrupt World Cup. Let's be honest with it. It was bought and it's done for whatever reasons, which we won't go into on the political side of it, which I think we might do a show closer to it about it. But this is a ridiculous World Cup. For me, it's not a World Cup. For me, it's not like a proper World Cup. Do you know
gone from it, hasn't it? There's a lot of reasons.
What if Ireland were in that one, though? Would it be a real World Cup?
No. Still, I have my principles. I have my morals. That look, I understand that people will watch the World Cup because the teams are in it. Look, if Ireland was in it, don't get me wrong, I'd be excited for my national side to be in the World Cup.
Of course.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
You're a good Irishman.
But you look at it from if you look at it from outside the box sort of thing, you realise it was bought, it was corrupt. It's like the World Cup going to Russia or the World Cup going to South Africa. Now, look, the South African World Cup for me was okay. I can understand it. They're trying to develop football in South Africa as a continent, and that's fair enough.
Stephen Pienaar.
Yeah.
You go to Russia with all that. You go to Russia with what they've been up to. I mean, you're giving the World Cup to countries that have reputations that precede that country, and I think FIFA have to look at it when do the next World Cup. I mean, I think it's going to USA, Canada, and Mexico, which for me is a World Cup I'm looking forward to, because I always remember '86 World Cup.
I know, wonderful.
The '82 World Cup I can just barely remember. But look, I think FIFA, UEFA, even with the goal the other night, Ellie and Shamu, I think these big organisations are corrupt they're rotten from the inside out. They were put together for something for football. Their moral code or the moral compass of why they were put together has been lost. Now they're big money, corrupt businesses where money comes first, the fan comes second. And all this, we're playing it in the winter because of player welfare. Well, if you're doing it for player welfare, think about putting it on the time that it gives the player. Do you know the Premier League ends? The World Cup starts in a week's time, where normally players get a month's preparation, or 3 weeks or 4 weeks preparation for a World Cup. And then
Italy's got plenty of time.
Huh?
I said Italy's got plenty of time.
Oh, Italy have got loads. I'm actually quite sad Italy are not there, to be honest. And then as soon as I finish the World Cup, we're straight back into the Premier League. So how is that player welfare? How does that look after the player? It doesn't. So I just think these big companies, Ellie, are corrupt, and FIFA, UEFA are corrupt. And look, it's corrupt. And look, it says here, William Kelly, big up, William. Thank you for the message
William.
You left on.
That's a clairvoyant, William. Give us some more lowdown.
Thank you, William, for the kind comment you left on the community page on the channel. It really meant a lot. So thank you. It says, Dermot, every organisation is corrupt throughout the world. Yeah, exactly.
I know. That's what I was just going to comment on, actually. He's beaten me to it now. Because, like, if you look at every country's history, they've all done some pretty bad things sometimes. But, you know, we've got to embrace the World Cup as it is a romantic thing. I like the World Cup. I love the cup itself.
Don't let the bad things ruin a beautiful game.
Yeah, don't let the bad things ruin the beautiful game, because at the end of the day, you've got, is it 26 players from each country? I think it's a squad of 26 goes out, and those 26 players are going to represent their countries, and they're going to put politics and corruption to a side and play the beautiful game, right? And there's people going to boycott it, and there's going to be people that think twice, you know, because of what you've just said, Dermot, and there's other people who just want to enjoy football in its beauty. Like me, I'm a pure football lady. I love football. I mean, I watch grassroots football. I go Sunday league football to get my fix, you know. And when I watch Spurs, I want to watch Spurs players playing in the World Cup as well, you know, because that makes you feel proud of your club, that your team, your players are playing for their national sides, you know, and I'll be cheering every one of them on, every one of them. Yeah.
We've got Adrian Soker here, big up Adrian. Thank you for joining. He says the League Cup 4 days after the World Cup, and the Premier League restarts 9 days after the World Cup. So there's not a lot of time for players to rest and recover from a World Cup.
It depends who comes back injured as well.
Exactly. Toxic Headshot, big up Toxic Headshot. It said VAR has destroyed the beautiful game. Look, for me, VAR needs to go.
Very true, Toxic Headshot.
As Dermot would say, it's a feckin' joke.
It is a feckin' joke. Look, I think, personally myself, it's got to go. Either put ex-players and the next referee in there that know what they're talking about, or get rid of it and just leave it to the referee and the linesman, go back to how it was, and have goal line technology there for if the ball crosses the line or not. I think that's what I think. VAR is taking over the game, is trying to influence the game, and we had that the other night. It influenced the result. That it was a good goal. It wasn't offside. But look, people say it was, people say it wasn't, and now we've got to go to Marseille and try to get the result. But we are going to quickly talk about that later, Ellie. And we know we're going to go into to that tomorrow when we do our News Beat show as well. So we've got Mia, Shane. There's no Cyprus though, Ellie.
That's true. I know. An island of just probably about 750,000 Cypriots. They do well to do what they do. 750,000, and out of those, less than half are men. So we've got slim pickings to pick from, really. We need some Brazilians to move to Cyprus and become Cypriot.
There's one for you.
Yeah, we had a Brazilian.
No, not the rubbish ones, the good ones. We've got all the rubbish ones in our team.
That's true. We've got David Clark here, guys. I'll start with you, Shimon, then I'll go to you, Ellie, on this. He says, I think we'll draw with Marseille, finish second in the group, then draw Bayern Munich in the knockout stages.
Easy.
Look, we owe Bayern Munich.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. Would you agree with? Would you like to see that, Shimon?
I wouldn't like to see that, but if there's any a time where Bayern can be beat, they have been having some shock results in the Bundesliga. They're not first in the Bundesliga, so they've had some shock results, and they can be beat on their day. They've got some kind of young and inexperienced players who do make some mistakes, but obviously I wouldn't like to have Bayern Munich. They're an epic team, but they have had some pretty poor results this year.
Yeah. And Ellie, yourself?
You know what? I would love to get Bayern Munich to get them back for that 7-2 defeat that they inflicted on me, right?
So they can beat us 21-0 this time.
I know. They inflicted it on all Spurs fans, but it was actually my birthday on that day.
Oh, God.
Right, and I was,
God.
Oh, no, it wasn't my birthday. Sorry, it was when we played into Milan. No, it was some special thing. I can't remember what, but it was a birthday in my family, and I was out celebrating, and I thought, I saw the result because I wasn't watching, obviously, because I was with my family, and they'll kill me if I do Spurs when I'm with them, right? And I remember being so gutted because we went in the lead as well.
Ellie, you're amongst friends, so look. You can tell the truth. Did you watch it? Yes or no? We won't tell anybody.
I didn't. You know what? I was watching. I wasn't watching it live, but I was doing the live score. Underneath the table and having a quick look. When I saw 7-2, I thought, oh my God, because I saw the score going up and up and up, and then I think I actually threw my phone on the floor at 5-2. Because I thought, no, we're not going to come back from that. 4-2, maybe we got a chance, but 5. And then I picked it up again, and it was 7-2, and I thought, oh my God!
Was that the night Poch got sacked? Was that the match Poch got sacked?
I don't think he had. I think he got sacked after the match. I think maybe he lasted one more match. I can't remember because I was so gutted that we lost 7-2, and that ex-Gooner Gnabry scored the hat trick, didn't he? The little sod.
Mia says, I'll marry one to take up the cause, Ellie.
You know what I mean? Me and Maria are on Psyche today, and when we had a chat earlier this week.
Mia will be joining us as a guest for the lady shows with Ellie, so I'm so looking forward to her
I've recruited her. I've recruited Maria. He's looking for the Bayern Munich player, Gnabry, to have a word with him.
We've got David Clark saying, "Look, if we draw Bayern, then they see real. It might put them into shock, and we can take advantage."
Yes.
I love.
He's grieving. He's grieving.
We got brilliant people in our chat. Brilliant.
I do, Ellie. I love that. Look,
we enjoy ourselves.
What the hell is that noise?
He's drinking something. He's celebrating because we come back 3-2, innit?
Drinking the champagne.
Sounds like we used to do as kids. Just really drink the last bit of the can. Do you remember? Right.
I gotta get every last cent out.
Yeah. This will bring down proceedings.
Oh, Jesus.
But this one's much.
Yeah, we'll get rid of her now. We'll bring her back now.
That was so savage.
Savage.
That was so savage.
Ellie knows if she makes
one hot spur.
Ellie knows
look at that.
So
The trap door's
yeah,
been
Ellie
set.
knows if she brings up Dyer, Davis, or a Sanchez shirt, she will come off the stream.
Shall I just throw
The
it?
trap
Shall
door's
I
been
just
laid.
throw it? Shall I just throw it in the bin and get rid?
Toilet
No,
paper.
give it to an
Yes.
Arsenal fan. Tell them
I
there's a
will.
present.
I will.
Listen, I'll start with you
Maybe
with
that
this, Ellie.
Dino.
I'll
Yeah,
start
go
with
on.
you, Ellie, in this, and then I go to Shamu.
All right.
Carl Simpson made a good point. He says, will the World Cup earlier, I would have made the transfer window a little longer and start earlier. I agree with that. I think we should have done.
Yeah,
but it starts from the
definitely.
first and finishes at the end of January.
Big up, Carl. Big up, Carl. What a fantastic question. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It makes sense. But there's no sense in this world of football nowadays. There's VAR. They're ruining our game. Remember when they caged us all in? Flipping hell, in the was it late 80s, I think, or mid 80s or something like that. They caged us all in.
It started
They're crazy people running our game.
Well, Ellie, look, they put the fences up to stop fans running onto the pitch and fighting each other.
I know.
We had that big look, do you remember that time we had that big battle, Millwall versus Luton, back in the early 80s?
Yes, and they broke all the chairs, didn't they? The seats.
And
yeah,
then
they were throwing at each other.
Yeah, and then you had Heysel then a few days later. Look, they at the time, I think football authorities at the time didn't deal with the problem, didn't deal with the root of the problem, Ellie. Now, you're saying that the fences were put up there to protect the players and the people. But I think, as we saw with Hillsborough back in 89, that it was a disaster waiting to happen.
Yeah.
But, look, do you think with standing coming back now, Ellie, why you bring up that point? Are you glad to see safe standing back at grounds again, or do you think there should be all-seater?
No, do you know why? Because I start off the game with the ticket that I originally bought, and I maybe shouldn't be saying this, but I actually moved to the non-standing part because I don't know, I'm just one of those fans who like jumping up and down and not sitting down and getting up and celebrating a goal. I like the euphoria of jumping up and down and hugging each other, hugging people that you don't know, and like really going to town. As a true Spurs fan, I'm born and raised in Tottenham. Sorry, I want to be part of the experience. Yeah, and I like. Well, first of all, I like being hugged by a lot of men. That's lovely, even as a married woman.
Højbjerg won't like. Don't tell Højbjerg. Don't tell Højbjerg that.
No, I mean, if Højbjerg was there, if he could join us in area whatever, which I won't say which area I'll go in, but it's just
Højbjerg knows.
part of being a fan. I hate sitting down. I'm not a sitting down girl. I like being up. Even though I've got circulatory problems in my legs, I don't care. I'm up there with the rest and the best of them, Yeah, so I agree with Carl. I agree 100%. Well done, Carl, for a brilliant question.
Yeah, it was about the transfer window, not about standing up, Ellie.
Yeah, I know, but I agree with him. That's what I mean. I agree with him, what he said, and I agree with you when you said about standing. Yeah?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. I love celebrating with the fans.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Look,
I get carried away sometimes.
For me, look, Ellie, for me, I can remember the 80s. I can just remember the 70s, late 70s, but I can remember the 80s. And I remember going to Tottenham with all standing and how the kids were looked after. Even in the 80s, we were all looked after. We were all put at the front. And Spurs used to leave the gate sort of unlocked in the East Stand.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was like for the Shelf or the West Stand. The West Stand was all-seater, wasn't it?
Yeah.
At that time. Look, as long as it's done safely, I think it's great. I think fans should be able to go and enjoy the game either sitting down or standing up. I think it's a good thing, but it has to be done in safe.
Some people have to sit in it, Dermot, because of their health reasons, I mean, I should really be sitting with my circulation in my legs, but I get up. I just like being with the fans. I don't call them they're not the real fans. Every fan's a real fan, sitting or standing. But I just like celebrating the goal standing. You know.
Yeah, look, everyone's
you can
different.
go a bit crazy. Yeah, everybody's different.
Everyone's different. But anyway, Ellie, I'll start with you with this question, then I go to you, Shamouk.
Yeah.
And also get your reaction to this in the chat as well.
We've got your cat in there, Shamouk.
Nah, he's outside.
Yeah.
After 2 losses, Ellie, was it important that we got a win yesterday?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, if we had 3 losses on the trot, I think the whole fan base would have gone into total meltdown. They're already halfway into meltdown, but I think we would have gone in total meltdown and they'll be calling for Conte's head, which I hate. I don't hate the fans who say it. I just hate the thought of Conte leaving, because I think since he's come in, all right, we're not playing ball, but we're winning. We're winning ugly. To tell you the truth, I love when we play really, really well, but we haven't played really, really well so far. Only against Fulham, about 70% of the match we played really well against Fulham. But other than that, it's been fit and start, hasn't it, Dermot? We've flattered to deceive. You know, and some of the football's been awful, like the passing.
It has. Look, we got a couple of comments, Ellie, in on what we were talking about, as well as Shamouk, about the standing and the sitting. So we've got this from Andrew Gregory, and this is shocking. This for me is fucking. That's why in the 80s it was a joke. When I went to Ipswich in 81, not only were we caged in, but the exit door was on a timer, so you couldn't have got out.
Oh my god!
Look, we laughed. I know Shamouk laughed, and I'm slightly laughing.
I did.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Is it more disbelief? Is it more disbelief, guys? Is it more thinking, what the fucking
They're
hell?
treating the football fan like an animal, aren't they?
This is back in 81. But look, you can't disagree, Ellie. In the early 80s, there was a bad hooligan problem within the English game.
Oh, without doubt. But to cage people in and then basically to put a timer on the exit door, that's shameful.
Do you know what?
Health and safety reasons.
Yeah.
What if someone's hurt, has a heart attack or something?
Yeah.
I mean, look,
wait for the timer.
Yeah, I know, it's shocking. Look, Ellie, we remember the cup finals back in the 80s, right? 100,000 in Wembley, right? All standing. Not one bit of problems. I don't think I never had any problems on a cup final day or a League Cup final day. Back in them days.
I know. The 1981 FA Cup final, 1981. What was you going to say, Dermot? Before I didn't quite. You was a bit lagging, so yeah.
No, I'm fine.
What was you going to say though?
What has changed, Ellie, in the decades since? Look, we had that, then we had Hillsborough, we had Heysel, Brentford, then Hillsborough, right?
Yeah.
Then we had the Hillsborough report into all-seater stadia and to improve the stadiums for fans, which was badly needed because football grounds in the 80s, they were falling apart. They were still they were still the same in the stadiums as they were in the 60s.
Yeah.
As a fan, and I know you had some issues the other night, which I want to get into. We didn't get into it in the last show, but I do want to make people aware of it, of your experience and how horrific it was for you. When you told me, I was absolutely shocked.
I know.
Do you feel, Ellie, that elements of what we saw in the early 80s creeping back into the game now, where when the Premier League started, it was a family atmosphere. You could bring your wife, you can bring your children. I know you can now, but it's the elements of that generation of fans where it was the children would see the dad do it, and dad got into the gangs. Is there an element that creeping back into the English game, and especially with what you went through the other night, Ellie? Do you think it is creeping back into the game, and what can be done about it to stop it getting out of control again?
I think it's more civilized now, in terms of you're sitting down, and it stops maybe a lot of the hooliganism element being able to do what they do, because there's face recognition. They can pick out people in the crowd and ban them for life, and there's so much more policing nowadays. I mean, when I'm going up to the White Hart Lane and I see there's loads of American police, by the way, loads of them, right?
Sir.
And the American police, they don't take no shit from nobody, right? So they're really.
You haven't seen the Gardaí,
and I'll leave you alone.
Yeah, you haven't seen the Gardaí when England hooligans started fighting in Dublin. We battered them out of them.
Yeah. You see, I think if you show a strong arm, against these hooligan elements, and you inside the ground, you've got loads and loads of security. There's probably about, I'd say, at least 3,000 or 4,000 more security guards inside and out. There's masses of them.
Yeah,
there's loads.
I just want to get, you went through a bad experience, Ellie, the other night, and you told me on the phone, and I was shocked. So do you want to explain to people what you went through the other night?
Yeah,
and why
basically.
Hang on, sorry, Ellie, I just went out to her.
Yeah.
And when you tried to go to somewhere to get help, there wasn't the help there to protect you from what abuse you were getting. So what happened to you the other night? I mean, this is shocking.
Yeah, so basically I was, it was half time. First of all, I picked up my iPad, which I'd put down, and this fan had kicked it onto the floor and smashed it. And he basically said to me, girls shouldn't have iPads and filming, right? So that was a bit of a shocker. So I sort of brushed myself down. I thought, I've got a thick skin, but I didn't like it. I picked up my iPad, went outside, and I was a bit shell-shocked because I wasn't expecting that. It's not happened to me for a long, long time, like the sexist card, right? And then I was outside, and another guy, I put my iPad to film outside because I didn't want to go in to that section again, because I was thinking, if it happens to me again, I don't, you know what, I'm not a violent person, but I really felt like hitting him one for saying that, but I held my dignity. And when I was outside, the same thing happened. They said, stop filming. He just yelled at me. He goes to me, what's a woman doing with an iPad filming? You know, I didn't need that. I didn't need that.
No.
So,
I mean, Ellie, look, what did I say to you?
Horrible.
You can say what my reaction was. What was the first thing I said I would have done?
Yeah, you were shocked. You were shocked, and you said I should have smacked him one, I think, if I was right. But the thing is, I'm not a violent person. I like to talk to people and educate them. So I turned round to the guy and I said, look, I've got every right to be here. I'm filming for my channel, THFC Till I Die. I told him.
Yeah. I'd be surprised.
And then he shut up. Yeah.
Then we could name and shame him.
Come on, describe you.
Name and shame him. To be fair, I mean, I look, Ellie, that video has actually gone up. I'm going to check if it is up. Hopefully it's on there, because I think, what am I doing? I think for the experience you went through,
I've reported it to her game too as well, by the way. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, Wolf, more like big up Wolf.
Expect it to put it that way. No. I've had no problem. I just wanted to add one more thing. There were loads of fans supporting me around as well, because as I walked away, one gentleman said to me, don't take any notice of him. He's just a dinosaur. Yeah.
Do you find these sorry, Ellie, do you find these fans are starting to come back into the game again? These sort of people.
Maybe. I think it's not been fully stamped out, like the racist card hasn't been fully stamped out. We've got to make a stronger stand against all sorts of sexism, racism. Like, do you remember when they were saying about the Hungary game away? And I heard somebody say we should have boycotted playing Hungary for at least a year or two. But then we played them again and they battered us 4-0. So that wasn't a good one. But regardless of the result that they battered England 4-0, I think we should have made a stronger stance against it. Because it's like giving them a fine is not good enough. You can fine a country for being racist, but you boycott them, that sends them a clear picture that we don't tolerate this sort of behaviour.
I mean, Shamu, what's it like in New Zealand, sports-wise, for what ELYY went through at Tottenham the other night? They're supporting the team, videoing for a YouTube channel, minding their own business, enjoying the game, being a Spurs fan since she was in her mummy's tummy, like us, like all of us. How is it in New Zealand? Is it bad over there, or is it? What's it like over there?
Oh, when I go to games, the fans usually hardly even make any noise. Like even at rugby games, when you're watching All Blacks fans, they're so quiet, man. They'll cheer for like the kickoff, and then it's like dead. But when I go to football games, I've heard some pretty bad things. Like I went to one which is like the local team sort of for me, where I started playing. My dad started playing, and it was basically started by a bunch of Croatian people who came over back in like the 50s, 60s sort of area.
Yeah.
And this woman was saying, "Oh, there's way too many Croatians at this club," and it's like, they started this club, like, and my mate was like, "Oh, I didn't want to say that because I knew you'd turn around and say something," and I was like, "You're damn right, I would have."
Yeah, give her too. Yeah.
We've got Steve D here. Big up, Steve D. Always enjoy you in the comment, mate, as well as Ruth Muller's come in. Paul Pablo's come in as well. Big up, Paul Pablo. So thank you for all joining in. He says, I don't think it's nearly as bad as the 80s or the 90s. We live in a digital world now where nothing goes unnoticed. Never going to get 60,000 people together without the odd tit. There's just no hiding place now. I don't know what TF means. I don't know if you two know what TF means.
No. TF, hiding place now. Let's ask Steve what he means by it, because I don't know what it means. Sorry.
Well, I think he's making a very good point here. Look, Ellie, I'm appalled what you went through the other night, and I totally, as a man, as a person, as Shamu would say the same thing, and I'm sure every male person in this watching this stream would totally stand against any sort of racial or abuse women get at games. Women should have the same right to go to a soccer match or a football match as much as the man do. And some of the women, to be fair, are a lot worse when it comes to shouting abuse to the players. I mean, I remember going back when I was a kid, right, and there was a woman behind me, and by Jesus, she could swear. But she'd done it in a friendly way. Do you know what I mean? It was good banter. And I just thought, but look. So, look, I agree with him. It's not as bad. You still got the odd dick that goes to these matches, Eddie. But is it these fans that went away when they couldn't do what they could do? Is it these only hooligans starting to come back now into the fan base? And do you know, do you feel that it's been creeping in for the last 3 or 4 years? It's been creeping back into the game. We had the with West Ham out in front of the stadium there last season. A fan got knocked down outside the stadium in the middle of the road by a West Ham fan, I think. We've had problems away. Do you know? Where do you think the FA, the Premier League, FIFA, UEFA, what can they do to stamp out, especially racism, but especially sexism against women at football? Because you have more right to be there, and the same right as any. What you got the me to you thing happening as well, Ellie, which you're going to be an ambassador to, and I'm horrified by what you went through, and it really angers me. And I know any man in this room be the same. So, what do you want the authorities to do, Ellie? What do you think should happen?
Well, us women, right, we've been used to this sort of. It doesn't matter if you're a football match at the supermarket, just walking down the street. You know, you get it in workplaces where men would, you know, say things to you. Even women, it's not just men. Even women can be detrimental to other women as well. But what I found, for every one person like that, there's 99 other men out of the 100 that are really solid behind women being at football matches. And, you know, you've got to put it in perspective, right? So there was two guys, actually, two separate guys. One that kicked my laptop, which it's got a big crack in it now, and it was a brand new iPad, sorry. So I was devastated over the crack. I could handle his quip, you know, because at the end of the day, it was a quip that was detrimental to all women, not just me, because he's just aiming it at me, but he's pointing it at all women. He basically doesn't want women there. Right. And then there was another guy, which I didn't even mention. I forgot to mention. There was another guy who was swearing behind me, and he thought to apologise to me because I'm a woman, because that's chivalry. You know, he's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, love," but I don't need apologising to. I said to him, "Look, I grew up with 7 brothers. I'm used to swearing. You don't have to apologise." But I could at least. But it's just like, you have to apologise to a woman for swearing. I don't get it, because we swear just as much as men, I'm telling you. Yeah, we do. But sometimes Ellie, we do it under our breath.
Yeah, Ellie, look,
I just think it's weird. I just think it's weird that he had to apologise to me, because I've never heard that before. No, like, I've never experienced that before.
Ellie, it's probably him being the gentleman, to be fair, that he was apologising.
I know. I didn't take too much offence to that.
No.
I just said to him, look, I grew up with 7 brothers. Don't worry about it.
At least he had the common sense and look, love, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to swear. I didn't, you know, please. Look.
I know. He was a nice chap as well. We got talking later, and I told him about all my upbringing and everything. And we walked out the stadium, and we were still chatting to him. About half an hour later on the pylons, we just sat down and had a good talk. Yeah, so he was a nice guy. Yeah. You know.
Paul Pablo's asking you, Ellie, why did you not report it to a marshal, to a steward?
Right.
Or did you?
Well, no, I didn't, because when I went out, I was so shocked, and I needed to go toilet really desperately. So I needed to get to the toilet. So I rushed. And then when I came back, I did mention it to the security guard as I came in. I showed him my laptop and my iPad, sorry. And I said, look, they've broken it. One guy kicked it. And he said, do you know which? And when I went down, I couldn't see that same guy. So he'd left. Yeah. He'd actually left. And all the security men, they came down, right? And they were ushering everybody into their seat, into their space. So they were busy doing that as well. So I thought, I'll let it go for now, and then I'll mention it after the match. But, you know, after the match, that same guy who said sorry for the swearing, he was chatting to me. And you know me, when I get chatting, you know what I'm like, right? And we walked out the game, and I made mates with him. We weren't like best mates forever, but we had a really good chat about Spurs and our direction. Yeah. So I just put it behind me. But I've mentioned it to Kurt anyway, because what they can do face recognition and zoom into me and that guy who kicks and I can say it was that guy.
Well, at least something's come out of it. And we've got Mia here saying they need to take these things more seriously. The thinks the issues is it gets brushed under the carpet. I grew up with a brother, so not sensitive, but some men are just disgusting, and it's unacceptable. She puts on Joshua put Mia also said, I didn't mean Ellie was sensitive. Well, Ellie grew up with 8 brothers, so she knows all about
7.
7. Well, you technically got 12.
Well, actually, because I've got you, Jack Kanicki, David Harris, obviously, and then I've got Philip Brady and Shamu. And Chris. I've got 13 actually.
We're like that family. What's the name of that film in the 60s that live in the hills? The Sound of Music.
Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
Yeah, we'll be all singing and dancing for you now, right?
I know.
We've got Mr. EE in. Big up, Mr. EE. He says, THF's Till I Die. Hey, Dermot Coys. Big up, sir.
Yeah.
And then he then also put in, Ellie, isn't Bournemouth's ground like a shoebox? Seemed like it on the TV. You could pretty much make our every individual voice. Can I just say how wonderful our away fans were yesterday, guys? Absolutely fantastic again. And then he puts Brentford's ground, I thought it was much bigger than it is. Only hosts just over 70,000. Turned up early enough, you could get a game good, and that's great. And then Rob Bedge, sorry, Ellie, I missed this thread. When did this awful thing happen? It happened at the
Sporting Lisbon game.
No, at the last game. At the last
Sporting
game
Lisbon.
there. Yeah, Sporting Lisbon, and then Mia's put the Brady Bunch. Yeah. That's more like it.
I love the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, same here.
I could be singing that. I'll sing that on the way out.
Oh yeah.
You know, I love that theme tune.
Yeah, we've got a few star comments here, guys. I want to get to you, and then I don't know. We'll go to the games that we've got coming up, and we can talk a little bit about that.
What a beautiful cat. The moose cat is lovely.
Yeah. We've got William Kelly. He says, Ellie, she said we will win a trophy, that we're a massive underdogs. I think that's the league. I am sorry. I think that's the league.
I hope it's against Liverpool. I hope it's against Liverpool when we win a cup, because I want to pay them back for beating us in the Champions League final. Boo. Boo to Liverpool.
Ellie and Shamu, David Clark put, in my day, you can stand next to our opponent's supporters, have a discussion about how the game was going, and the biggest danger was those rotten rattles. Now, I don't
the wooden rattles. Oh my, they gave you earache. You just make sure you strategically place yourself not near anybody with a rattle. That's what you do in those days.
And then we've got Anthony Gray says, I remember standing at the top of the shelf as a young teen, £1.10p a ticket price to realistic prices back then. Jesus, that was cheap.
I know.
I think, it was about, I forgot how much it was for the East Stand, but I don't think it was much more than that.
Yeah, because you're younger than me. I can remember when it was even cheaper than that, 25p, when I used to go with my brother Boo in the late 60s, early 70s, because I was very young. I was born 62. By the end of the 60s, I was only 8, you see.
Paul Pablo says, I think this is brilliant. I think they were singing Spurs fans at Bournemouth. My garden shed is bigger than this.
You know what we've got? We've got to be humble though, because these clubs, they're trying their best to stay up in the Premiership, right? And they won the league, Bournemouth, didn't they? So you know, we faced a big test there, and we came out of it 3-2 winners. So I'm proud of our team to come back and actually win. You know.
Ellie, guys, right, I'll start with you, Shamu, and then I'll go to you, Ellie. Right, we've played Bournemouth, so we've got 2 more Premier League games left to play before the World Cup.
We've got big guns to play now, haven't we?
And then we've got the away trip to Nottingham Forest in the League Cup and the Marseille game. Shamu?
Yes.
How do you think we're going to get on with them games? Marseille, Liverpool, Forest and Tottenham. Out of them, how many games do you think we'll win?
All of them.
Good man.
Come on, Shamu. Good man.
I'm sick of saying not all of them. So I'm going to do it, David Harris, and just say all of them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ellie, Marseille, Champions League. We haven't won away in Europe since the 5th of November 2020.
Yeah.
I think it's 3 draws and 5 defeats on the road. Look, it's bound to end sometime. And then we're home to Liverpool, where we drew 2-2 with them last year, where we should have won. To be fair,
that was under Nuno as well.
Yeah, it was.
Nuno.
Away to Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, where we should really beat Forest, who got dumped 5-0 today as well. And then home to Leeds. I think Leeds is a tough game, but I think we should beat them. Yeah. Where do you see us going, Ellie, in the last 4 games we've got left before the World Cup?
I'm with Shamu. Right, we're going to win them all. We're going to win them all. Yeah, I've got my boxing gloves on. Look, let's pound them. Let's pound Liverpool as well, because we need to pay them back for beating us in the League Cup final as well, and they beaten us in the Champions League final, right? So we need, and also we played better than them at White Hart Lane when we drew 2-2, and we held our own at their ground as well when we drew 1-1. We could have easily won both matches. Yeah, right. So I'm thinking they're off form. I just hope we don't go on the pitch thinking that we're going to beat them easily, because Liverpool are a fantastic side. We've got to be on our games. We've got to make sure that we're out of the traps really quickly, because that's the sort of team who can be 3 or 4-0 up if you don't watch your guard. Yeah, so but I think we'll be 3 or 4 up. Yeah, I think we've got it in us to beat them, because they're not firing on all cylinders this year. Even though Mo Salah's scoring, he's not been at his best. And Nunes, I don't rate him. But I'm going to take that. Actually, I'm going to take that back, because every time I don't rate a player, I'll rate you, Nunes. I'll rate you. They always do well against us.
Liverpool team.
Yeah, I mean, this is from Paul Pablo. I mean, what a bet. I don't know if anyone knows, but at half-time, 2-0 down, we were 33-1 to win. What a bet. I was sticking a 5 at 3-2.
You know what I mean? We missed that one, Dermot. And Shamu.
Yeah, we did, actually.
I don't have a betting account, so.
Neither do I, actually.
I have actually got one, Sky Bet I've got. But I've only bet once, and they said they're going to give me £20 credit, but they haven't done so. So I'm going to get on the blower tomorrow and tell them.
Carl Simpson, we will get a result against Marseille. We will beat Liverpool and Leeds. Forest should win. Should be a win as well. Look, I think Marseille. I think we'll get through against Marseille. I mean, I heard the other night now, guys, and this is true. Somebody put into I think it was the fan show I was doing with Dave Harris, or was the watch along the guys were doing, and somebody said about just going out the Champions League and going into the Europa League. So we don't have to face. Now, you got more chance of meeting Barcelona, Juventus,
Arsenal.
No, we can't play Arsenal until the quarterfinals, I think.
Only if we got dropped down into the Europa League.
Yeah, that's what Dermot wants.
I
did not say that, Shmoot, so please don't say that.
You're going to get a slap in a minute.
We're going to fall in the trapdoor.
Going to get a slap in a minute, slap in a minute. Shamu.
Where would you start on Tuesday with Marseille? How would you play that game? Do you play for a draw, or do you play?
No, I mean, you can't really play for a draw, can you? It's impossible. But I would go out all guns blazing, take the game to them, show them what we're all about, and really, really impress and actually play some nice football. Because I want to see us go to France and show the French that we can play. Because when I was over there in Nice, I actually bumped into quite a few Marseille fans, just like on the train. Just general chat, you start, because I was looking at the Spurs-Marseille game, and a guy said to me, you can have my seat, darling, gave me his seat, bit of chivalry. Yeah, and we started talking about footy, and he said, we're going to beat you when we come over here. When you come over here, we're going to batter you. And I said, no, you're not. And I was bantering with him, and he goes, because you always lose away from home. But we've not always lost away from home. We've had some very good results. Remember when we went to Dortmund and battered them 3-0? Yeah, so I think we've got it in us, but we've got to play well from the off. I want to see really good, passionate football. Yeah.
Early goals.
Ellie, I can barely remember that win. I mean, the 5th of November. It was November 2020
When we beat,
last time. No,
when we
the
beat
last
Dortmund.
time, no, the last time we won away was in the Europa League in November 2020. We beat some Bulgaria side.
Yeah, I know.
Look,
that's why I said we've got to come out
I
all
tell you what I'll do. I'd actually get that group up, actually, Ellie, and maybe where is it? Oh, it's in
the
there.
worst result is when we lost to Dynamo Zagreb. Oh, and then Lloris came out.
I think losing to Mora.
Actually, Mora, when we lost to Mura.
There's the group, Ellie. Look, one game to go. There's the group. Look, there's full of different permutations that can happen. We could get knocked out of Europe completely. We can get knocked out into the Europa League. We can get into the second, win the group. We can come second. Shamu, how would you play Tuesday? It's going to be a tough. How would you play it? Because it's just a minefield, isn't it?
You've got to play to win because Marseille have to win. So it's going to be both teams coming at it. You're not going to have Marseille sitting back trying to just defend. They're going to have to try and go for a goal or try and take the game to us. So hopefully that just exposes more space in behind and gives us more goals and gives us the early chance. If we get an early goal or two, then it's over and we can bring our boy Spence on. Yay!
Ellie, look, we've got to the last group game now. Is it a group we should have already qualified from already?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, we've wasted so many opportunities, haven't we? I mean, against Frankfurt at home, it was squeaky bum time at the end and they were down to 10 men. It's like almost like we want to have this ending. But, I mean, when we played Sporting, it was taken out of our hands because Harry Kane's goal was chalked off. And the euphoria in the stadium, you could feel like we want to qualify for this Champions League. So I think it's going to be tough, but I think we're just about going to make it. I think we'll win 2-1, I think, in that game. I think it'll be not a high-scoring game, 2-1 or 1-0, one of the two.
But tomorrow
3-1 and a red card.
Yeah, but me and Ellie are going to go into more depth on Tuesday when me and Ellie do our pre-match thought show on Tuesday at 6. And then we'll go into more detail tomorrow during Newsbeat as well, where me and Ellie are going to do a bit of a build-up to that match as well tomorrow at 3 o'clock. We're live on there. Right, we're sort of coming to the end of the show now, guys. I want to big up a few more people that have just popped in.
Yeah. Peter?
We've got Peter M. He says, big up everyone. My main worry is that with so many games still to come that will suffer injuries. It also let's pray that all our players that go to the World Cup return safe and well. Yeah, I think that's my biggest worry is that players
don't wish injury on anybody.
Carl Simpson said Marseille choked a 2-0 lead this weekend and drew. Yeah, that's true. Andrew Gregory says we're not good enough to play for a draw. No, we're not. That is for sure. We also have Andrew Strucker said, as it stands, we are through against Marseille, so Conte will play 3-5-2. Yeah. And then Wolf, are we getting anyone back from injury? I think Decky, I don't know about Decky. I know Richarlison could be available. I think he's back. But we won't know until on Conte's press conference tomorrow. So hopefully by the time we start doing Newsbeat, that we may get some up-to-date news on that for you, Wolf. So we'll keep our ear to the ground, and we'll do. Guys, look, we'll go to the last call. I want to just quickly go over Conte's press conference yesterday, Ellie and Shamu.
Yeah.
And this was the first little bit I saw. Now, we will go into this tomorrow in depth, Ellie, because I've got all the quotes here. Now, we all saw Conte walk down the tunnel once Tottenham scored. We all start thinking, hello, is he pissed off with the players? Is he knew the game was over? Well, apparently, he walked down the tunnel. This is what he says. Tottenham's Antonio Conte walked down the tunnel to avoid heart attack VAR drama. It was all to do with the VAR. So
Yeah.
I saw that the other day. So I thought yesterday. So I thought I'd bring that up. But tomorrow we'll go through the press conference. And then one last question for you all guys. I'll bring it up here now. Where is it? Here we go. Right. This is. I'll start with you, Ellie, and this. If it will come up. Come on. Right, Ellie. Who would you like Conte and Paratici to go for in January window?
All right. Yeah.
I
would love them to get this Bastoni deal over the line, because apparently he's not playing for his side. That's what I've heard. I've not really been following Serie A apart from Napoli, because Napoli, I've got a soft spot for them. But other than that, and also because Maradona played for them, my favourite ever player outside of England. Yeah.
Did you see? Did you see the statue? Ellie? Napoli don't. It's lovely, isn't it?
Oh no, it's wonderful. And I bumped into a Napoli fan after the Spurs ladies versus Man City. We were in KFC together, and we were talking about Napoli and his love for Napoli. And you know, I just love everything about Napoli. They're a really good side, and I'm glad they're top of the league as well. Yeah, so just getting back to your thing, I would like him to come, right? And I'd love, because it doesn't look like we're going to get Maddison. I don't think he's on our radar, so far as I know, but I'd love to get him. I love Maddison. I think he's a wonderful player, and he picks up such brilliant pockets of space. He's a very intelligent boy, brings players into play as well. He's unselfish. The only thing you can question him is on his work rate, but like the great Jimmy Greaves said, it's not how hard you work, it's how you affect a game. You know, I know I've said that before, but it really is true. You can run around for 90 minutes like a blue-ass fly, but if you don't do anything good, you know, you can help your team by running around, but if you don't score a goal or lay somebody in or do a brilliant tackle to stop a goal, then you're not worth your worth, right? So I'd love to see him. Those two players would make a big, big difference, and you don't need 5 or 6. Two players would make a big, big difference. Yeah, I've said my piece.
Yeah, good. Look, we've got Paul Pablo says everyone is saying Manderson watched the last 3 games and only turned up against Spurs. Yeah, that's so true. Shamu, same question to you, and Adrian Sucker's put here: Wilfred Singo, Stephen DeVarge, Weston McKennie, and Zan Zanolo. Would you pick any of them?
Very good.
Who would you pick out of that for January? And who do you want? You got one pick. You got one play for one position. Who do we go after in January?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Right wing back, definitely, because that was who Conte said he wanted to prioritize before the last window. So, and we still haven't got that.
No.
So a defender, right wing back, or a centre back. I'm sick of Sanchez.
So Carl Simpson says any decent right wing back and a centre back who can actually defend. I mean, every time I see Sanchez now, the older generation might get this. I don't think the younger generation would. But the banana splits keep coming into my head. Every time I see Dan Sanchez and Davis, it's like the banana split theme tune comes into my head.
La. 1 banana, 2 banana, 3 banana, 4. Sanchez sits on all of them. Sorry, Sanchez. I'm getting at that players, but they can't defend. It's true. No. It's true. They cannot defend.
Look, I put a comment up on the Irish Hotspur chat with actually the 3 of the banana splits. I said, "There's Sanchez, Dyer, and Davis. You know, all they there." Right. Peter Rem says, "Big up Spurs win 1-0.
Spurs ladies."
Don't worry, Ellie.
And today I got tweeted by Ash Neville. She retweeted me, and she tweeted me. Yay! Come on, Ash Neville.
Hey.
I love that player.
Come on the show.
She's fabulous.
Ellie will
I'll get her on the show. Don't worry.
ELYY will have that. ELYY will have all the updates to that on Tuesday at 3:00 with the ladies show, where we'll be going in depth in that game and all the stats and everything. So big up Peter Rem.
Ladies. As an ex-Spurs lady, I'm so proud that we scored 8 goals today. Brilliant.
Yeah. Peter Rem says we will see how big a difference signings. We saw how big a difference signing 2 players last January made. Yeah, exactly. Look, it doesn't matter if we get them in at the beginning of January or at the end of January, as long as we get a couple of players in to strengthen that defence, I don't care. And then we've got Adrian Soccer, Stephen Javai, Dutch captain with 80 caps, a ball-playing right-footed centre-back. Yeah, exactly. It's what we do.
And Bastoni as well.
Stephen Javai, very good.
And then we've got Peter Rem says, one of the banana splits looks like Jurgen Klopp. Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I can just very briefly, guys, before we go, I can see him getting the sack very soon because Liverpool are not playing well at the moment.
Alan Pardew to Liverpool.
Yeah?
Yeah. Jurgen Klopp he looks quite haggard at the moment. You know, he looks really stressed out. His skin doesn't look as glowing. His teeth don't look as bright. He looks tired, doesn't he? But he hasn't been sleeping.
Needs a holiday.
He's not been performing, isn't it?
That's true. And then Paul Pablo's book, could anyone explain Trippier looks different? Looks a different player at Newcastle. Aurier looks the same. Improved for Forest. What is it? Look, Aurier for me. I was done with that play when he walked out and us at halftime in the League Cup game against Liverpool at halftime under Jose. When he
that's shameful.
So look, Aurier for me is finished for me. I don't care.
Disgrace. He's a disgrace.
I don't care if he plays well for Forest. He's only there for the money. He's not there for the club.
And he punched a copper in the face.
I think why Trippier looks a different player. I think the Premier League is different. The Premier League is different to the Spanish League. The Spanish League is more slow. It's more continental type football, where the Premier League is 100 miles an hour, tackles flying in.
He loves it. He's a good old British defender, isn't he? Trippier. Yeah. He likes getting stuck in. He can handle himself, even though he's a little guy. And he won the league with Atletico Madrid in Spain as well. So, you know, he's got pedigree, the boy. He's got pedigree.
Yes. Pete Rem, Poch to Liverpool, just a previous thought. Look, I can see it happening. I can actually see Poch going to Liverpool. Look,
that'd be weird. Poch at Liverpool.
I'm not one of these fans that actually want Poch back, to be honest with you. And I'll explain why. Look, how good Poch was taking us from where he took us over to finals and semi-finals and everything. He always got in the big games, he got it tactically wrong. He, like the Champions League final, why not play Mora instead of a half-fit Harry Kane? The FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea at Wembley, he played Son at right wing-back, if I'm right. You know, all this Poch going back, all these fans, I want Poch back at Spurs. Well, if he comes back, we're going to have another 2 or 3 year rebuilding job under Poch. So if he wants to go to Liverpool, let him go. We've got Conte. We've got the best manager in the world. Let's stick with that. And if Poch wants to go to Liverpool, or he struggled managing PSG, where there's only one team in the French league, and they didn't win the league in his first season in the French league. So look, I think all these want Poch back is a fairy tale. Look, he done his job. He brought us so far. I know Mickey Hassie said he's got unfinished business with us. But I think I don't think coming back is a good idea. I don't think the second time around will work. Look, we had it with David Pleat. David Pleat left us because his car kept breaking down with the AA all the time. And then he came back for a season. Then it wasn't the same. Stop laughing, Eddie, because you're making me laugh now. Because you know what I mean.
You know, can I add a bit on Poch? Yeah. That I think what the fans want more than Poch is to see a manager because Poch made us play really beautiful football. We were exciting to watch.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that.
I'm not
But
doubting that.
I agree with you, Dermot, that he made errors, drastic errors. All right, and it was a bit of naivety, a bit of loyalty to Kane. You know, if he didn't play Kane, what would happen? And there would be backfire on him because he didn't play him and we lost. So there's lots of ifs and buts with that. But there was key crucial times that he did make errors, and it was from it's a lot with Poch. It was loyalty, and everybody loved him. You know, they really respected him as a manager. They loved him at the club. Even Levy didn't really want to sack him, but he had to in the end because we hadn't won an away game for ages. We'd lost so many away games. If you remember, there was a build up to the Champions League. We were going downhill, right? And then it just after that Champions League final, we just flopped, didn't we? And it was inevitable that he was going to get the boot. But when you got to blame other people in the equation as well, because we could have strengthened the team for him as well, you know. But having said that, if we did strengthen the team and he didn't produce anything, then we would have had more of a gripe. Yeah, we would have had more of a gripe.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Ellie Carl Simpson says David Pleat comes back 100 times, we just wheel him out.
Yeah. Anybody sees his car, I
apologise.
We won't go anymore.
I apologise if the David Pleat AA joke offends anyone, but it's the only way we can talk about that what happened in Tottenham's era without really offending anybody else. So but guys, listen, thanks so much for an enjoyable show. Really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. It was fun.
Shamu, when are you back on with us? You're back on with the watch along, aren't you, on Tuesday night for us with the Marseille game?
Yep, I'm there to watch us qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah, good man. You should, and also get on to the Irish Hotspur, Shamu. Get on the fan shows. We'd love to see you on there.
I came on one of them last time.
Yeah,
you come on with the mask. You come on with the mask, don't you? Yeah.
You haven't been on for a long while, Shamu. So listen,
I was on a couple of weeks ago. I was on a couple of weeks ago after the like Everton game or something like that. Maybe I can't remember. One of them I was on.
I saw that. I saw that one. But we want to see you every week, Shamu. We want to see you every week. Come on, you're fun. You're fun.
I get enough memberships.
We've got Peter M here. Ellie and guys, we've got Peter on comment. I think it's a great comment myself, and I'm actually going to give this comment of the night of the stream because I think it's a good comment. It says Poch is very charismatic. Yeah, he is. You would follow them anywhere.
He's charming.
Yeah. But he only went so far, as Dermot says. His decline started in the 23rd of February 2019 at Burnley when we went 1-0 up and lost 2-1 and dropped out the title race. Yeah, I think that was starting at the beginning of the end for me, Peter. Big up, Peter. And Andrew Gregory says, thanks for a great show as always, guys. Look, we enjoyed them. Ellie, we have a busy week coming up, haven't we, honey? So, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, before I've mentioned anything we're doing in the future, I just want to say about Poch, the one endearing thing that I loved about him, and it's nothing to do with tactics or making errors or anything like that, because we all know he made some errors, but the most abiding image, well, two images. The one when we beat Man City and he came into the dressing room and he went, kahulas, we got the kahulas, you know, and he's going to all the players, we got the balls, you know, we got through this Man City side who are much better than us, but we managed to beat them. And then in the Champions League semi-final, when he dropped down to his knees in euphoria, disbelief, God, we've made it, you know, to the Champions. That was my heart melted for him, and I'll never forget him for the rest of my life. Even if he doesn't come back, he'll always have a special place in my heart, Poch will.
Yeah,
he will.
POCH will always have a special place in all Tottenham fans because of the way
Yeah.
we play. But I think football has changed also, ELYY, from his
Yeah,
time.
that's why I
to
agree with you, Dermot. I agree with you that it'd be a big mistake to have him back, because then if he doesn't succeed, it's even a bigger dagger into his heart, because he's a very proud man. You can tell he loves Spurs with all his heart. When Mickey Hazard said that about him having unfinished business, that means he does want to come back, isn't it? It does.
It's down to the club and it's down to whoever does that. But ELYY, look,
let's get on to what we. Yeah, so basically we've got lots of things coming up. We've got the weekly news that we do, and then we've got the charity show, which is highly important, on the 18th of November for autism and ADHD in children. So we want to be raising as much money as we can for that one.
Just hold that there. I want to put up the link for that while you're talking about that, so people know where.
And the news. Okay, right, lovely. The Newsbeat shows that we do 3 times a week. We're bringing you all the latest gossip from Spurs and all the latest news, the bulletins, the breaking news, everything like that. And then we got my ladies show as well, which is every Tuesday, which I'm very excited. And when I did my first show with Dermot, it went excellently. I was quite nervous, as you can imagine. It was my first debut show, but Dermot helped me through it. He was very, very gentlemanly, and he asked me some brilliant questions, fantastic questions that brought a lot out me that I didn't even know I had in me. Right, so that's another thing. And we want to follow the Spurs ladies team, because at the end of the day, football's for everybody. Right, I played it as a woman for Spurs ladies, as everybody knows. So I'm proud of the team, and I want to follow them home and away. If I can get to a lot of the away matches, I want to go to the away matches as well as the home matches. I couldn't get to the days because I was up at doing family stuff. So, but I was so proud of them winning 8-0, and just moving on from the ladies as well. We've got some really good shows coming up with myself, Dermot, and Philip. We've got the good, the bad, and the King, the Queen, and the Godfather. That's lined up. And then we've got another one, Dermot, that you thought of. Just tell the viewers about that.
We actually have, everyone does a fan show, and we didn't want to be the same as everyone else, like everybody else does a fan show. So what we're looking to do, we're looking to turn these post-match shows into a slightly fan show.
Yeah.
And any fan that we're going to have a couple of comments, but you can come and have your say about Spurs, say what you need. So these post-match shows will become a fan show, and that will be starting next Sunday, because we would have had the Champions League game, we would have had the Liverpool game. So from next Sunday, me and ELYY will be hosting a fan show on here every Sunday at 8 o'clock.
Tell them what we've called it, Dermot. Tell them what we've decided to call it.
And I think it's just going to be Thfc Till I Die fan show. I think it's just simple, and it just goes along. ELYY's coming up with some really good names.
Yeah, I thought Spill the Beans or the Frills and the Spills. Which one do you think's better, the Frills and the Spills fan show or Spill the Beans fan show? Because obviously we're going to have PHFC Till I Die in front of that.
Yeah, so
I just thought it'd been fun, you know.
Spur the Beans.
We think of
Spurs
something.
the Beans.
Yeah.
That's a very good one to me. Spurs the Beans.
On the 18th of December, on the 18th of November, we are doing this charity stream for 12 hours.
Very important.
Those things. We've got Dave Harris coming on.
That's
being
the one that's close to our hearts as well.
Yeah. We're going to do Dave Harris coming on as Quizmaster to do a Spurs quiz.
Oh, yeah.
Against me and ELYY.
God. It'll be epic.
Me and ELYY going head to head. So 2 top legends going together. We're going to have debate who was the better player, Jimmy Greaves or Harry Kane, who was the better player, who's the best.
Yeah.
We're going to continue with the Maradona Pele.
Who's our best ever captain? Yeah. So we're going to have so many things going on, isn't it, Dermot?
we've got also, we're going to rate the managers under each ownership. So we're going to start with the scholar managers, the sugar managers, and then the ELYY managers. And we've got both stuff. So we're going to have people popping in, popping out. We're going to have a few people popping on, talking about the charities and talking about autism in children as well, and what it's like for them as parents or as carers or people for the charities as well, what they do. So we're going for 12 hours. Look, it could turn into a 24-hour stream. I still haven't closed the door on that yet. We're going to see how we get closer to the time. But and also,
Dermot, we're going to Dermot, just to let everybody know, we're also going to have a sketch where fans can tell us their best 11, their all-time best 11 Spurs team, and also talk about their best Spurs moment as well, and why it was your best Spurs moment. We'd love fans to call in and tell us about their stories, because it's lovely to hear from all of you why it's so special to be a Spurs fan as well, and your favourite Spurs moment.
So we're going to have a lot going on that night. We've got lots coming up this week, as Ellie says. We've got Newsbeat 3 days a week now. We've got DERMOTRON and Queen Ellie's pre-match thoughts before every game. So we're doing that on Tuesday. We've got the Lady Spurs show Tuesday, the watch along on Tuesday. So we're going to do all that as well.
Tuesday. We better win.
On Wednesday, the post-match show. Thursday, then we're going to start building up to the Liverpool game at the weekend. So we've got so much coming up there. Listen, thank you to everyone who's tuned in tonight. We really, really hope you've enjoyed the show. As you can see, I'm in a new bit of a setup in my sitting room at the moment. I'm going to end the show now because my ass is killing me on this bloody chair. I have got a computer chair coming next week.
He's going to get an ergonomic one.
No, it's actually my back. I suffer with a really bad
you need
back.
an ergonomic one for your back, Dermot. You really do. I looked at that chair earlier and I thought you were going to get a sore bum.
It's not my ass, it's my back, Ellie, and I've just.
I'm on my soft bed, so I'm all right. I can bounce up and down on this soft bed.
I've been nearly going 2 hours here, and I'm about to. I think I might be stuck here all night because I think my back is locked. So it should be fun trying to get out here afterwards.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of comments before we finish off. I don't want to miss anyone's comments because everyone's comments come in. I love to read all of them. So we've got. I've got Peter M. Thanks to you, Dermot, Ellen, Shamu. Peter M, thank you for coming in.
Pleasure.
Kev Williams.
Pleasure.
I have recently found out that my child has autism. Unlucky because my amazing girlfriend has a 15-year-old son with the condition. She's helped me so much the last 2 years.
Lovely.
Look, I'm a 45-year-old with the condition.
Good.
So, do you know what I mean? So I know what it's like. So, look, see, that's why we wanted to do the stream. That's why we wanted to, me and Ellie wanted to do it, not just because of me. The idea is to help families that are struggling at the moment at Christmas. They need a light for a sanctuary room, or they need something for the child, because it affects everyone differently, and different children from top to bottom, adults as well. So if you want to donate, the link for the PayPal donation thing is on the YouTube channel. It is linked to other charities, and we will be, once the charity stream is ended and we've raised the money, we will be doing a live stream showing the money going to the charity. It's something that's important. As me and Ellie wanted to do that as well, to show, and then also show where the money you've donated, where it's going, who it's going to, so you know it's going somewhere. So that's important as well. We have all right, what else we got? We have Carl Simpson.
We lost your move.
No, I'm still here.
Serena
ended up beating Milan.
Carl Simpson's put Dermot loves us all bomb on a Sunday night. Yeah, I really do. And then he's saying big up to Peter M, Kev Williams, and Kev Williams is saying
I've got a nice cream for the bum, Dermot.
No,
I've got a nice cream that I can
I think that's for
way.
another stream. I think that's for another stream.
I'm not saying I'm doing anything for the cream. I'm just going to send it to him.
It's actually my back head. That's
your lower back. Is it the lower back near the coccyx? You know what the coccyx is, don't you? What are you laughing about? It's part of the. The part can get damaged a lot. I know from my own experience playing football.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to keep it clean here. That is a part of the bum, though, the coccyx.
It's just what you said, Ellie. It was so funny.
I know. I'm a funny lady. I can't help it. I'm from a nutty family.
I'm just, you know, Peter Rep said that's too much information, and then he says that's. I'm just.
But it's going to help you, Dermot.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain things you can rub into your back that are very, very good, and there's certain things that are not so good.
I've got medication for that, Ellie. So you're grand. You're grand. Thank you.
Yeah,
listen, guys.
Tablets, you mean?
Look, I'll talk to you off the stream, Ellie. It's grand.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We'll keep it clean.
Dermot is shaking his tail feather too much.
You're going to get it all now. You're not going to live it down.
No, I think we're just going to end this stream, Ellie, before we say anything else that might get us into any more trouble. Than
we're all grown up at the end of the day.
Yeah. Listen, thank you everyone for watching. We're back tomorrow at 3 with the news beat with me and Ellie. Shamu's somewhere going to look for his Easter eggs or the pot of gold at the end of his garden with the cat.
Oh no!
Ellie's going to go
and look about a bit.
Yeah, Ellie's going to go.
It's the middle of the day.
Ellie's going to go and find some cream for her for something, and I'm just going to sit here all night and just hopefully I might move. If not, you'll probably see me in the same place tomorrow, looking a bit disheveled. But if you are, please like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to us. Please donate on the donation page as well. It will mean a lot for us to get that going. And
yeah, get your friends and family to like and subscribe. All your friends and family, get over to THFC Till I Die and start watching us and subscribe, because it helps us grow our channel. And you know what? We work so hard, Dermot and I, to bring you a fantastic show every time. We try and make it fun as well. So let's see what we can do. Get our rise to that 1,000.
And thank you, everyone who has subscribed to get us over 700. It's really humbling. It means a lot.
So grateful.
Until we see you again, adios, and we'll see you tomorrow at 3. Come on. Oh, hang on.
You want me to sing, don't you?
Yeah.
I'll do the Brady Bunch. I'll do the Brady Bunch.
Hang on. Stick Ellie on solo layout.
That's it.
Ellie, take it away.
Sorry about the flashing light in the background. That's gone again. Right, so I'm going to do the Brady Bunch for all of you. Ready? I've got to brace myself for this. Cut.